Maran writes in Shulchan Aruch, Siman Kav Zayin, that a person is not supposed to have any sort of separation between his body and the tefillin. We mentioned before the proper placement of the tefillin shel rosh, that the front of it should be parallel to where the roots of the hair grow. I mentioned for those who don't have hair in the front, you could usually still find where the roots of the hair would have been growing. But here we come to a situation where we have now those who have a full head of hair, sometimes now they have the challenge. What's the challenge? A person has a full head of hair. Maybe their hair is considered a separation, is considered a chatzitza between the tefillin and their body. So clearly if a person has a short haircut, the poskim say, if a person has a short haircut, then the hair does not constitute a separation between their body and the tefillin. It's considered an extension of their body, it's not a separation. But nowadays, it seems like the style is, for those who are capable, they have a lot of hair in the front, they have very long hair. And the poskim discuss whether or not if a person has very lengthy hair in the front, and he puts his tefillin shel rosh on top of that long hair, maybe that does constitute a chatzitza. And in fact, there are poskim that say yes, long hair would have to be parted because this long hair is no longer considered an extension of the body. Other poskim are lenient and they say that as long as the hair is in the natural place of growth, in other words, if it happens to be lengthy, but you put your tefillin directly on it, then that would be okay. However, poskim write that if a person would comb, you have a comb over, even with you comb over that spot, then according to some poskim, that would be a chatzitza, and a person has to be careful about that. Specifically, if a person has a toupee, the Grot Moshe is lenient. If a person who has a toupee, has fake hair, and he's ashamed to take it off in the Beit Knesset, so he's allowed to put on the tefillin but without a bracha. And then when he goes home, this is for Ashkenazim, when he goes home we have to make a bracha on the tefillin shel rosh. For us, it's not a problem because we anyway don't make a bracha on the tefillin shel rosh. However, a person should nonetheless be sure to put on the tefillin at home in a way that there's no chatzitza, no separation. Another place where this comes up, on the tefillin shel yad, just two quick pointers. You have to be careful that when you're wrapping your tefillin shel yad, that your shirt is not caught in the ritzuot, because the shirt would constitute a separation. However, you see sometimes that some people leave their watch on. How could that be? Why would it be okay to leave your watch on if you're not supposed to have any separation? And the answer is that the primary concern is that there shouldn't be a separation at the place of the knots. Okay, but if it's just after you have your 7 wraps, or by us 8 wraps around the arm, then as long as your watch is lower than that, then you're allowed to keep the watch on. That's not really such a concern. One final area of concern would be when you put on tefillin shel rosh, make sure that your kippah is not stuck between the ritzuot and your head, because that would, of course, constitute a chatzitza.